Good evening, good morning, and good day, wherever you are. This is the Boomer Nerd, also known as George Tasker. And today I thought I'd have a look at the details regarding the coronavirus. And so I'm going to be using the data that you can get from there. So let's go and take a quick look at that. So I'll drag that over into the current screen. I'll blow it up a bit. And then I'm going to go and find the website where I booked the data. So under health, coronavirus, COVID-19. Rather interesting story about why they chose that name. Okie dokie, we have 89,000 today, March 2, 2020. All right. Now, when I'm looking at this, there's a whole stack of questions. And one of the questions I have is, I see here in South Korea, we have 4,335 as of today. Yesterday it was quite a lot less, and the day before it was even less. And when we look at this graph, if I click on it, it doesn't really give me any information, especially in terms of trends. You can see trends here just for mainland China, and we can see total recovered and other locations, but there's nothing here for specific countries. Talks here about mainland China, which is rather annoying. I wonder if we can change it. We might be able to. No, it's only just showing mainland China, but we want to get the details for other countries. And the best way to do that is grab hold of a spreadsheet and import some data. Now, if we look down the bottom here, it says we have a downloadable database here. So I'm going to dive into here. Going to open up a new tab, and we're going to take a look at what data is available. The data I'm most interested in is the data for trends. So I'm going to go take a quick look in here and see what we've got here. Okay, so if we take a look here, we can see just down here time series. Well, that's going to be most useful to us, because it gives us a way of taking a look at... Okay, so we've got 3 CSV files here. CSV stands for comma separated values, and we'll take a look and see what that looks like in a moment. So the first one we're going to look at is the confirmed file, and as you can see, it shows a certain kind of data. Now, as you can see, it doesn't show all of it, so we're going to go for what they call the raw file. So we'll bring that up. And as you can see, it looks like a whole lot of gobbledygook. So what we'll try and do is we'll try and interpret these and see if we can get something that will give us useful information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file. So it says save as. Now I don't want to stick it in books. Where will I stick it? Nah. Okay. Forgotten where I put it before. I did this once before and I had a quick look and thought I'd tell you what we'll do. We'll go and create our own file under documents. I think I might have had a file called Corona or something like that. I'll take a quick look. Corona. How annoying. No? Alright, let's create our own okay. So we're going to go in and create our own folder. We'll just call it Corona for lack of a better name. Corona 2020, how's that sound? That way we tie it to this particular year, the current year as we might say. Dive in there, and now we're going to save this file. Alright, so we'll go back, and we're going to go back to this one, and then we have to back up one more, because I want to get deaths and eventually recovered. We're going to have a bit of a play with those numbers as well. So we'll go in here, and we will once again grab the raw file. And as you can see, once again, it's a whole load of gobbledygook, and we'll try and work that out eventually. Okay, now instead of going right click save as, the other thing I can do is on the keyboard hold down the control key and press S, which will bring up the same dialog. And now we've got the deaths ready to be saved, so we'll save that file. Alright, we're going to back up 2 again so that we can now go and get the recovered data. Okay, into recovered, bring up the raw file again, and Control S to save. Now we've got these 3 files on the local drive. Now they do update them on a fairly regular basis, so within the next 24 hours they'd be out of date. But this is a rather interesting exercise in terms of what we're able to do with the data that has been provided to date. Okay, now I'm not a person who likes to pay money out when I don't have to. If I can get open source or free software that will do the job, I will go and use that in preference. Libre Office is a software package that is a drop-in replacement for Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office retail price has been, up until recent times, about $500, and that's $500 more than I'd like to spend when there is an alternative. Okay, just complaining that I didn't recover a document from last time, so we'll sort that out and send it on its way. Okay, save it. Let's try and get ourselves a spreadsheet this time. I think I might have opened up the writer by mistake, so we'll go back, get LibreOffice, see if we can get ourselves a spreadsheet. Ah, that's more like it. Now, I wonder if we can import down here. Is there any way of doing that? We've got export. Okay, let's forget it. Let's just open it up. And all of a sudden I find some of the documents that I was fooling around with before. Oh no, they're graphs. Alright, let's go into Corona 2020. We're going to first of all open up the confirmed. And what will happen is that this is going to recognize that it's comma separated values. It's going to pop up a dialog, and then we're going to decide what, if anything, we're going to do with the data. I don't think there's a real lot we can do with it. There's something we're going to have to do later on, and we'll come to that in a moment. But for the time being, we're just going to bring this data straight into the spreadsheet, and as you can see, it's jumped straight in. Okay. they've changed the data format a little compared to last time I did this, and as you can see, okay, now I'm doing this particular exercise in Australia. If you take a look at the dates up here, we'll just blow them up a bit so you can get a better look at them. You'll notice that these dates are in what I would call American format. Australia has a date format of day, month, year. America has month, day, year. Unfortunately, the software we have is not smart enough to know how to deal with this matter. So the exercise we're going to do today involves us converting this date here into an Australian day format, and then hopefully into a proper format. Now, most of these are numbers, most of these zeros are numbers that we prefer to see if we could. They're telling us at this point in time that there's no infection. Now, so we'll scroll across, further across we scroll, the more we see the later the date. So when we get up to the 1st of March being the latest data that we have. And as you can see, all the zeros are suddenly disappearing and being replaced by non-zero numbers, which is a rather sad state of affairs. Anyway, so the first question I'm asking myself is, how can I get this date up here and turn it into an Australian format date, which will then be recognised as a date number by Libre Office. Okay, well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pass this number as a string. And as we can see, we've got a number, a slash, another number, a 2-digit number this time, another slash, and another number. Now we know that the first number is a month, and we know there's a slash there and a slash there, and so we're going to have to go and look up some functions that are going to help us locate the particular data that we're after. One of the first things we want to do is try and find the position of the slashes, because when we go from here, you'll notice that the position of the slash is in the second position. So 1 being in the first position, the slash is in the second position. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the second slash is in the 5th position. And you think, oh yeah, okay, well we can just simply go and say 5th position and 1st position and everything's good, but it doesn't quite work out that way. If we go into February, we find we've got a slash in the 2nd position and the 4th position. So we have to figure out some way of knowing where the slashes are. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use a function known as search B. So if we go back up, we'll notice that the value that we want is in E1. Take a look up here, E1. That's our value. That's the position that we're going to work with. Okay. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Running away on me. Come over here. Alright. Yes, there it is. Search B. Looks for a string of text within another. What about search? Looks for one text string within another. Find text, text position. Actually, trying to figure out. Oh, using byte positions. Ah, this one is just one text. This might just work just as well. We'll give this one a shot and just see what we can do with it. So we want E1. So there you go. It's gone and done a search on E1 and it's come back with that string. No. We're going to change things here a little. Search. And then we'll put a bracket. And here we go. This is where the fun begins. We want a slash. Then we want E1. And we're going to start right from the beginning, so we'll start with position 0. Whew. Don't you just love that? Gives an error. So down here we see an error. So that means that it doesn't like that particular value. Why is it still giving? Ah, I know what the problem is. This is supposed to be a string. There we go, much better. So what it's done is it searched through the value in E1 and it said it found the first one in first slash in 2. So we can now see the formula up in the formula bar. We can see the function result here saying it's the first one. It's okay. So first date position. Yeah, it says it's a bit wide, so we're going to widen the column. And I did that by running my mouse up here where I get the double-headed arrow, then I did a double click. Okay. We want the second position as well. So we're going to have to make sure we get that right. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. Type in the name. Second slash position. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, drop it down here, and you'll notice we get a strange thing happening. Reason being is if you look at the value, it automatically changes from E1 to E2. So we're going to go back in, edit the formula, and we're going to put E1 as our formula. Then we're going to put in the value that we got here, the 2, and we're going to put in, whoops, so we'll put that in. We'll just see what that does to us. Okay, so it's going to have to add a 1 to it. We'll try that. We'll put 3 in. Ah, yes, okay. So in other words, we have to put the location it searches from 1 past the second slash. Now if you take a look up here, you'll see that it's showing each of these values here, and it tells you what the outcome is. So it's saying here is the first value, which is the first part of the function, second value E1, and it's telling you what's the value of it, the first one is, and then it's telling us what the position is. And this particular window here is a very useful window for debugging. So now I'm going to put that down here. So we've got first position, we've got second position. All right. The next thing we have to do is we then have to extract the date and the month and the year. Then we're going to put them into order. So we're going to go with day, month, year. Okay, now we know that the day starts at the third position. So at this point in time, I'm going to go and see what I can do with the text functions, because I really want to use some kind of text function. Here we go. So we want left, we want mid, and we want right. We're going to use the left function to get the month, because the month is on the left hand side. We're going to use the mid function to extract the day, and we're going to use the right function to extract the year. So let's give that a shot. Let's start with mid. Okay. I'm going to start with mid because we're already in the day section. Okay. So the text we're going to use is E1. We're going to pop over the structure. We can go back between functions and structure, but we're going to... Okay, now the starting position. The starting position has to be straight after the first dash. Now, there's different ways we can do this. We're going to use the least flexible way in which we can achieve this result. Okay. And we can see over here in the cell that the first position is 2. So we're going to put a 2 in there for now. And then the position, the number of characters for the string. Okay, so we want 2 characters. Now you'll notice we've got a dash and a 2. That's not really what we want. And what that means is our start position cannot start at the position of the dash. It has to start 1 after the dash. So we can go 2, 2. Yes, we can go 3. We end up with the result of 2, 2, which is desirable. I'm going to pop in an extra row here. We'll go into the row above, because I'm going to show you some more advanced ways of getting the data that we want. Alright, so now we want the month. The month is going to be using the function left. So go grab the function box. We'll go in text. Damn. Let's just type in left. That might be the easiest thing to do. There we go. Okay, so the text we're getting comes from E1. And the number we can see manually is 1. There it is. Okay, so that's going to give us the kind of result we want there. And the year is going to be the right string. So let's bring up the function thingy again. Type in right. There it is. I'm going to double click it, bring it up. And already we want E1. And there's only 2 digits at the end. And so we will put in 2. Okay. So we've managed to extract all of these little bits of information, and we could, in theory, grab hold of these, and actually let's do that. We're going to get a date function that's going to grab each of these values. What's going on here? The mouse is playing up on me. Oh, let's try that again. That'll do. Okay, date. Year, month, day. That's what we want. Now we've extracted all of those things, we can now put them in. Okay, oops. What have we done there? Let's go back. Date. Ah, that's better. Okay. Now, this here is going to be the year. So I click on that and it gives me E133. The next one is going to be the month. And the next one is going to be the day. And then we are going to put that in, and it shows a date of 22nd of the 1st 20. So that's the Australian format for the day. Now I can confirm that this is actually a date format by going underneath and adding 1 week to it. So we're going to say equals this particular value plus 7, and it has recognized it as a date. Okay, now what we can do is that we can grab hold of all of this data here and copy it. I want you to watch what happens when we do this. So we're going to try and go all the way across to the right hand side, and we're going to paste all of this data. You're going to notice something rather interesting. Let's take a look at this one here. Notice here we have slashes in here. We don't want those. They should not be there. So what it means is we have not made our data sufficiently flexible. We've got the same problem over here. Well, that's no good to us. So we need to work out a way of getting the formula to be smart enough to know when and where. So all we've got at the moment is dumb formulas which have put in some things, and they are not really that smart. Now let's, as a matter of curiosity, grab these ones, and we will now copy them all the way across and see if they give us accurate results. If you take a look here, you'll notice that we see have 2, 5, 2, 4. Oh, so the second dash is in a slightly different position. But it can find it, but we have a problem. The problem is, because it's 4, and because we, in the first one, told it that the position, you've got 2 and 4, sorry, let me think about this for a second. O1, 1 and O1, 2. Okay, I'll just do a quick check on the function value here. Okay, so mid, the output of that, so start says it's at 3, so it's still at 3 even though it should be at 2. Let's take a quick look. See, it's, yeah, okay, let's go back up and take a quick look. Okay, that's all fine, that's all fine. It's when we go to the day, which is in the middle of the string, you've got a single digit. Okay, let's go and take a look. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's trying to extract two characters when it should only be extracting 1. So how are we going to resolve that problem? Well, it's going to take a little bit of work. And the way we're going to do that is try and figure out the length of the string that we should be using. The way we will do that is we'll take this number and this number, and we will then subtract the top number. Oh, sorry, let's try that again. We'll subtract this number from the bottom number, so the top number from the bottom number, but then we're going to have to take an extra 1 off it to allow for the position of the slash. Okay, let's give that a go. So let's go up here and take a manual look at it. So the length of the month is 1 character. The length of the day is 2 characters. The length of the year is 2 characters. We want to be able to try and calculate that. So the way we will do this is we were going to use one particular aspect of functions. This value that appears in here, or here, or here, is the result of the function. But we do not have to feed the values into spreadsheet squares. We can feed them also into other functions. So let's give that a try as an example. So now we're going to get the length of the day. Okay. Okay, here is a worthy place to stop. I was in full flight a few moments ago and got interrupted. So I'm taking an opportunity to stop the video at this point and break it into a multi-part video, which it is obviously going to be. I had not noticed that we had already reached 34 minutes by the time the video came to an end. What I'm going to do is close off now. I'm George Tasker, your Boomer Nerd.